You know, when Gemma says put your phone down, look at me, Tash. And I put it down but keep looking at my phone. Yeah, just not.
One day you'll do as you're told.
I think we both know that's not going to
not
happen.
that day.
No! Good morning, welcome to Natasha Makes. Only I'm not making, Jane's making. Welcome,
Good
morning. Jane.
You are making a mess.
Oh, I'm making a mess. No, what? Hang on. I'm making people happy and unhappy at the same time. I'm making lots of people happy because we're doing a bolt end sale today. I'm making Gemma very unhappy because it's been
of work.
very popular. So I might have pulled a few more bolt ends. If you look on my Facebook page, you'll see Gemma's look. No, and then there's Inga in the background
with a cup of tea.
Yeah. Who Audra says, Inga looks like she's saying, "Welcome to my world." Yeah, everyone's happy here today, apart from Gemma. Now, yesterday's show. Excuse the chocolate. It's still on there.
It'll wash off.
This is the finished panel. I finished it. I went and done and finished it.
I think it's fabulous, and I think it's such a lovely idea.
So here's the thing, Jane. We sold out of the panels, so we got onto our supplier. They have another bolt we can have, but if only one or two of you want it,
It's not worth getting.
it's not worth me buying it. So we had a conversation about it this morning, and if you would like any more of these panels, please email us info@natashamakes.com. Okay, and then if we have enough of you that want it, then absolutely, of course, we will buy it in. No problems at all. It will take a day to get here, and we're happy we're done. Okay, so you know, just don't if you, because I know this sold out yesterday.
It
just went. And so thank you. First of all, thank you. So if you want to do something with the little pockety panel thing, well, whatever you want to make with it, really, it's gorgeous.
I love the little apron that you made. That was great. I could see gardening friends or, loving that as a gift.
That Inga has already purloined it?
Yes, I saw her wearing it,
Yeah.
And then, you could have that anywhere, in your summer house, in your craft room,
well,
crafty bits in. It's just
my lovely friend
useful.
Kate said, could you do deeper pockets for secateurs and things like that? So I might design another one.
Yeah.
Now that we know. In fact, I might have ordered some stuff to...
It's lovely how once you start being creative, it just carries on, doesn't it? And you get ideas.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it just snowballs because you think, oh, well, if I did this, that will make that, and then that'll...
Well, this was inspired really by Gemma, my friend Vicky, because she's helped Gemma out massively with her garden, and she's got all the seeds in all the world, and I just thought she could put her little seed packets in there.
Yeah. Lovely.
And she could have that in like her garden shed. Does she have a garden shed? Yeah, she's got a garden shed, hasn't she?
A shed at the allotment.
Yeah, there you go.
A lovely garage and a greenhouse.
So all she needs is a nail, and then the straps will go. We've pinned it up, clipped it up because we can, but it's got a strap on it.
It's lovely.
That was my idea.
But you could have that in your craft room with all your crafty bits in, couldn't you? It's just lovely. It's a lovely idea.
Of course you can. Now, Jane, talking of lovely ideas. Yesterday...
was a lovely idea. I don't think Gemma likes the idea much.
You'll notice that I'm firmly placing the blame on you here. We were cutting up some fabric because we're about to, on Friday, and I'm not meant to tell anybody this, do a long quarter scrap bag.
Yes.
Okay, because when we get to the end of a bolt, often there's a long quarter left, and we put it to one side because it's...
It can be handy for sampling,
or, exactly. It's too big a chunk to do anything else with.
Yeah.
So we put it to one side. And then we realised that we had several boxes of these long quarters. So we had a couple of other bolt ends that I was looking at going, oh, there's not really enough to do it as a half metre heaven. It's not worth us loading one or two.
Yeah, this is it.
So why don't we just long quarter them, add them into the long quarter scraps?
Yeah.
And then you said...
Well, I was, because I'm lazy, I'd cut a couple of long quarters off, and there was quite a bit left on, and I thought, oh, well, I'll just ask Tash if I can have this for quilt backing.
Yeah.
And then I thought, this bolt's got quite a bit on. Ding! And this one.
We suddenly realised that actually, what we never do, really, for you guys, is discount bolt ends, because what do we do with the smaller, our half metre heavens are always big, bold, We
Yes.
don't tend to do the smaller ditzier ones for half-metre heavens.
No.
I don't know why, but we just don't. So we went through and actually we've got quite a few that would make gorgeous backings.
Yeah. Or a nice chunk that you can use for like your background of a quilt.
Yeah.
When you need, say, 2 metres or something
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, all of these.
Actually, some of these would be great for dressmaking.
Yeah, because
If we're honest.
most of them are more than 3 metres.
Yeah.
There are some that are a bit less, but even so, 3 metres will back a good size quilt.
Yeah.
You know, single size.
So we've loaded a whole load and we will continue to load. So keep checking back into the clearance page because Gemma's got such a lovely day ahead. She's really looking forward to
I
it.
know, she's really pleased.
I know.
Nothing else to do with my life.
Nothing else to do with her life at all. Are we
Just
going
going
to do
to keep
shopping?
out of her way today,
Go
I
for a
think.
spa day? No. Stay here and load stuff. She loves it really. So if we keep telling her enough, Jen,
Yeah,
do
she
you think
might
she'll believe
us.
us?
No.
Let's give you a little look. Some of these, quite a few of these have sold.
Already.
Karen Hughes says she's not even looking, but she needs to.
Yes.
Dressmaking, Karen.
Karen, these are dressmaking amounts.
She
just
says she's not
saying.
looking, but I bet she's like, I'm a sneaky peek.
Gemma, is this on average about 25% off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
That's a
little bit
really
more.
good
Some
bargain.
a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some gorgeous fabrics here, just
Yeah.
a great opportunity. Even
Um,
just put it in your stash just in case. Because
We've all got
that's
just
what we
in
all
case
do.
stash. I've got a wardrobe of fabrics that were just for backing and
yeah, my mum has.
you know, because it might be the end of a collection.
Yeah.
I don't have the rest of the collection, but it's too pretty to do anything with. But and
Yeah.
I want it for the
Yeah,
guilty
we all
as
do it.
charged. I need to find us, Jane. I can't find us. Where are we?
Can't be far away.
Oh, I know, right?
Need my laptop.
Well, I'm just going to find us. Where are we? I don't know where we are.
This
Look,
is making great viewing, Tash.
I know, but normally,
Straight there.
it's there. Normally we've got videos and stuff. Can't find it. I'm going to give it to you, Gemma, and then you can find me.
Do you want mine?
No, it's all right.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm going to give you my phone instead, and you can find it on there for me. Thank you, my love. Facebook's changed again. It likes to change, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just keeps refreshing itself, and if you're not careful, you lose track.
Damn you, Facebook. Right, let's have a look. So, some of these will have sold already. We have got 4 metres of Tilda Cotton Beach.
That's the
Ocean
honey
Flower Honey. You see 0.8 of a metre there. Of it in
Still
blue.
a nice chunk.
That one's
Yeah, that one's gone.
gone. Quite a few of these will have done, but I know that one's gone.
What about the Cotton Beach Ocean Flower in Coral? 5.75 metres there. 25% off.
Amazing.
Um,
This is pretty.
Tilda Cotton Beach Ocean Flower Grey. I think I might know who's got this. I have a feeling I might know. I think that one's gone. If it has, like, super well done.
Yeah.
The Ocean Flower Honey and Blue have gone.
Randoms. Now, you see, I love this one. We've got 4.35 metres left.
Gone. Someone else left it.
This
too.
one,
Mm.
this one, gone. Well done. What about a Lipstick Cowgirl?
Yeah, just 2 units of that.
Oh, I love these.
So
I've
it's got
got.
a beautiful ombre.
Has this gone as well?
Yeah.
I love these. I've actually, Gemma, I've put 2. Look, see how ombres. Woo. I've given you 2 more to load of these out of this
nice.
collection.
We've still got some of it in other colourways, haven't we, by the half metre? So
Yeah.
if you like that ombre with the splatters on, it's
Now, what
beautiful.
about the crocodile down dillies? Crocodiles. Look at the
Alligator
little-
all over.
Oh, alligator all over. Crocodiles, alligators.
I know, I said to Gemma, what's this crocodile fabric? She said, it's not crocodile,
It's alligator
alligators.
all over.
He's on an extra specially good deal.
He is on an extra specially good deal. So, kid stuff.
Yeah,
Yep.
brilliant. If you do liners quilts, that's great for backing.
Absolutely. Let's have a little foray. No, because that's going to... No, let's go here.
Bit of cafe.
Did you see Kaif's post? Well, actually, it was Brandon's post, because this is his Mad Plaid. Someone's made a beautiful shirt out of it, and there were photos of a guy in America.
Yeah.
2.4 metres, not quite enough for a shirt.
No.
Or is it a small
might
shirt?
Be. Might be.
Cropped top, maybe.
Nice short
We
top.
have got 3 metres, Karen Hughes, of guinea flower in blue. It's enough for a dress, isn't it?
Yeah. I love that. I love the brightness of that one.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? We have got 5.65 metres. This is a beautiful backing fabric.
Yeah.
So fresh, so fresh. What about this flower net? Again, 4.45 metres. Now this, can you imagine this on the back of a quilt?
Yeah.
Yes.
Gemma and I were thinking dresses actually because it's rather gorgeous. Beautiful colours.
3 metres. Oh, hang on a minute. How did this happen? I must have had 2 bolt ends. I've not realised it.
Well, it was yeah.
Sometimes we have more than one bolt on the go when someone naughty opens another bolt.
Shh.
Sometimes we have to if somebody's ordered more than's left on the bolt.
Yeah.
So.
So there's your jumble in prune. Fabulous. We've got a few jumbles and they do make rather fabulous backings. So let's have a look. So this is your jumble in emerald. Again, enough for a dress if you wanted. 2.2 metres. I have loved these damasks. They're so pretty.
They're lovely.
Oh, and the blue.
And with the quilt, with your quilting on these, if you use them as backings, you could quilt on the back, from the back, so you'd get that flower design come through on the front. So
Wouldn't
it's
that
like
be
an
gorgeous?
overall quilt.
So
you know.
use it as a template.
Yeah.
Magenta's gone.
Magenta's gone. What about the blue? What about the lilac? They're all there. Now this one, I'm going to ask Jane to help me open this one up because this is the Lucy and Grey. And
yeah, we were folding this.
we were folding it and I walked out of the kitchen and went, oh, that looks so different from afar. How gorgeous is that?
I know.
It's not real far away.
It's make a beautiful dress or shirt, but
Isn't
yeah,
it?
absolutely stunning on the back of the quilt.
Just really gorgeous. And I think sometimes, you know, when you're really close up to things, you see it so differently when you then move, like Jim says, further away. We also have a smidge of Lucy in orange and in lavender.
The orange.
I love the orange and
has
the
already
lavender
been
together.
snapped up.
Oh,
for sure.
has it?
And the lavender.
And the lavender. Okay, so well
I'll
done.
try and add some more Lucy if I can.
All right, see if we've got any
See
more
what else we've
lurking. Piggy tails. I mean, this is just a great all-rounder. Great as a blender. Great. You see, it's a swirly pattern.
Yeah, it
I
would
adore
work.
that one.
Beautiful background on fabrics. It's called duck egg, but it's quite
It's
a grey.
a grey blue.
tone.
Yeah. Love blooms. Petals on pink. 4 metres of that. Again, another really beautiful one for the back of those quilts. And again, this is like a grey purple. Very beautiful. 5 metres of that. It's gone already, has it? Love blooms. Butterflies on cream. Fab. Or if you want butterflies on dark. Again, gorgeous. This one's got little bunny rabbits.
This is so pretty. This fabric.
Also gone. What about bunny hop?
Still there at the moment.
Still there. I love bunny hop. Super
Gorgeous.
love bunny hop.
So cute.
Right, I'm going to start putting these here so I can put them back on the Mrs. Doyle. Jane, do you want to show everyone while I
I
just...
want you to know what the
Yeah.
Mrs. Doyle is.
Oh, the Mrs. Doyle is our Mrs. Doyle trolley.
Wintertide here. This one is beautiful. It's like, well, it always reminds me of Art Deco. This Wintertide collection.
It's stunning, isn't it? I can't believe we actually had any left at all, but
There's
we've got a few little
beautiful
bits.
metallic on there of the pears. Copper metallic. There's 5.4 metres of that. Wonderful. And this is a bit more of a Wintertide, and this is the Arts and Crafts floral.
Wow.
That is lovely.
I know, it's just beautiful. And because you've got all sorts of different colours that you can pull from there as well, with a little touch of copper on there, just a tiny bit. Oh, now you see how wonderful is this?
Yeah, this is perfect for backing.
Celtic Dreams, but it looks like hexes.
Yeah.
It's actually Celtic knots in there, gorgeous, in that beautiful, beautiful light lavender.
And we've got it in dark cream.
I mean, how that's still there, I don't
2.5
know.
metres of that.
They've both gone.
Oh, they've both gone. They're not still there. There we go. That's why.
This is another Wintertide. Pears with copper metallic.
Beautiful.
This
I
is
love that
lovely.
metallic.
I can see a dress in that one. Or a shirt.
Yeah, a shirt would be amazing. I love it in this colour. I don't
Yeah.
normally like orange, but this is phenomenal.
It's a lovely shade of orange. It's
It
really
is.
rich. And this is just beautiful. Gold metallic with cream.
See, if you're not sure what colour the front's going to be, then that's a lovely one to be just a neutral
Yeah.
back.
Really works well. This is a fabulous one. 3.85 metres of that. That's the Wintertide flowers with copper metallic on pink.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we also have here, same with this beautiful metallic on there, but this time the metallic is slightly gold. And this is your flowers with gold Wintertide on green. It's kind of a tealy, it's tealy nice.
It's tealy nice.
It's tealy nice.
Gorgeous.
And again, if you're
Love that.
unsure, then go for the neutral. Go for the neutral. There we go.
And this.
Oh, now this is a glow in the dark one. This is Shooting Stars on Blue. So if you are doing anything for them, their
That's the one that
grandkiddies.
started it all.
This was the one, wasn't it? This was the one, and I was really tempted to keep it for something for Freddie, but he wants to go for a sea theme.
Yes.
So I'm going to keep some of the dinosaurs and the whales for him.
Yeah, we've got some beautiful fabrics.
Fossils and stuff. Yeah, absolutely stunning. So, you know, we might have...
And we're going to add a few more, aren't we, this morning or later on?
Gemma's
Just a
really looking forward to it. Gemma, did we get anywhere with my phone? Did you manage to find us?
Yeah, we did.
Why couldn't I find it? Because I was being quite blind. Let's have a look and say hello to everyone. Hi, Susie. Hi, Karen. Are you looking at Karen? Morning, Julia. Morning, Vicky. Yes, Gemma's loving life. I can tell. Vicky, I'm a dream maker. That's what Gemma's feeling today. Just a dream maker. Don't say nightmare. I can see you thinking it. I can hear you thinking it, Gemma. Morning, Bridget. Morning, Jenny. Currently, my go-to summer dress pattern is an adult version of the Emily pillowcase dress. 1.5 metres of material. Jenny?
I bet that's lovely and cool.
Yes! Fill your boots.
Yeah. Nice and cool.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I'm just going to check and see if I actually turned your mic on down here.
I think it was just rubbing against the button on my dress, so we've just adjusted it. Gem's adjusted it.
SJ thought you were a little quiet, so I've just moved you up a little bit.
Right.
Oh.
You
Okay.
can use your teacher voice as well, Jane, can't you?
Yes. I can.
Morning, Lizzie Crangle. Morning, Anna. Morning, ladies. Natasha, I'm off to Trago Mills this morning with my sewing ladies. Anna, do you know what? In a month or so, I'm going to be joining you, and I love Trago.
Is it beautiful?
No, but it is full of there's a whole haberdashery department. That was where I was banned, and they said that I wasn't allowed to come back until I'd had Freddie because I was 10 days overdue, and they're like, just don't
to have it
come
in
back.
the store.
No, even though the lady cutting the fabric was actually a qualified midwife, and I'm like, well, you're mean midwife, yeah.
People think your mic might be off. Where's the pack?
It's right down here.
Oh.
We're gonna.
Has it slipped?
Step off.
Well, I'm gonna
Maybe step away,
That's
Jane.
green.
Step away.
For a moment, Jane. Right, one more step.
We're all friends here. Claire wants to know if we're on YouTube.
Got it.
I'm going to say yes.
It's on, because
Yeah.
I can see a light. It's just
Oh, Jane says that we're bad. I make no apologies for that. 2 KFCs landed in my basket. I mean, calorie
If I
free.
push it up, then you
Calorie
can
free
grab it.
KFC.
Guilt-free KFC. Morning, Danny. Morning, Bridget. Morning, Joe. Morning, Alison. Morning, Sue. Morning, Malcolm.
I love to go from the bottom.
Goodness. I'm not even looking at
Oh
what's
my
going on
gosh.
over there.
In the right old triangle.
Oh, dear me. Morning, Brenda. Oh, as you can hear, yeah, there you go. We can hear Jane since Tash messed around.
There we go.
There you
She's
go.
in a tangle
I
there.
broke it. I fixed it. Other way around. Yeah, there we go. Auntie Lizzie says, Gemma, we can hear her teacher voice. There we go. Yeah, you see, Trago is one of those places you get lost in for an hour. And then they have Cornish pasty shops outside, and they have the Malcolm Barnett bakers. Well, they used to. I don't know if they still do. I'm hoping that there's still a baker's outside, so you can then go and get your, pastry goods. What are you doing?
I'm clipping
Honestly,
it onto her now.
they
so
are-
it doesn't fall
She's
down.
just furkling.
It's going to hit the floor.
There is
Halfway through.
furtling.
I did wonder whether at one point it would just go clonk onto the floor.
There's
No,
just
we
there's
can't
just
have that.
furtling happening.
There we go. You're attached now.
Amazing.
Just don't ask Tash to do things in future, Jane.
What do you mean? It was attached. It's obviously
just
worked its way off.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, but and
Thank
then
you, Gemma. Thank
and
you.
then and everyone, like all the local
I
farms
was
and
hot
stuff.
before, now I'm even hotter.
Well, I know. They leave their excess chickens and ducks and stuff at Trago,
Yeah.
and they just wander around the car park and stuff. There used to be a peacock and all sorts.
Oh, nice.
I remember being very pregnant and thinking I'd take my little Cornish pasty down by the river. So
Big
this is why I
mistake,
said,
huge.
well, no, it was fine. Apart from I was sitting there and suddenly there was a movement on the bank opposite, and it was a rat.
Oh,
I don't like rats,
no.
so I took my Cornish pasty elsewhere.
As you would, really,
I know.
because they don't want to share with a rat.
No. But I'm quite excited to be going back there. I'm going to get these out of your way, Jane. Good morning to everybody. Do fertile through our... That seems to be the word of the day.
Yeah, fertile.
It's a great word. Why doesn't it get used more?
Brilliant word. I don't think you saw, but Anne thanked you because she really enjoyed her mango salmon last night. I'm presuming she remembered to put the mango in.
Oh, probably did remember to put the mango in, and you probably felt very smug because you remembered to put the mango chutney in, and I forgot. So I just had salmon, and you had the mango salmon that I meant to cook. I'm really rubbish. Like, really rubbish.
Got to be rubbish at something, Tash.
Oh, there's plenty.
No.
There's plenty.
There isn't.
Plenty. This is absolutely one of them. And I'm really pleased that you enjoyed it. The other one to look for is the salmon and broccoli bake. Again, couldn't do it because it had chilies in, which I assumed was for my pregnant friend, not a thing that she wanted. Turns out it was the boyfriend.
Right.
Who then denied all knowledge. Morning, Leslie. Sorry, bit late to the party. Leslie, you've missed out on stuff already, but it's okay because we're going to load more throughout the day. Been moving furniture, ready for a new carpet. Oh, Leslie.
Oh, perfect day for moving furniture.
It's just what you want to do, isn't it? Yeah.
I love a new carpet.
Yeah, but I bet the minute I've got to hammer it in and not feeling the love either.
No.
Oh, the smell of a new
yeah.
carpet's great.
It's nice.
Love that. Mind you, we had a rigorous drilling this morning, didn't we? By John the man who can. He came knocking on our door and said, "Ladies, do you mind if I drill your wall?" And we're like, "Oh, John."
Just get it done quickly.
Before
We
10,
need to be
please.
done by 10.
The conversation went. Oh dear. Very professional here at Natasha Makes. Very professional. Jane, can you please be professional? Because Gemma and I appear to be failing to... Look, Jane made a beautiful quilt. Shall I show... Actually, look, I've get my stuff out of the way. And then, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, Jane. I'm really sorry. This is what Jane has made for us.
Hang on.
Ta-da! There it is.
It's beautiful.
Do you know what? I used to get told off on Sewing Quarter for saying ta-da. It used to annoy the viewers.
I'm sorry.
I know.
The ta-da moment.
I know it's the ta-da moment,
you
right?
can do it on your own at home. When you turn something through, you go, ta-da!
Yep, you do.
Why else do we make stuff? I got very confused. Apparently I'm just annoying. I'm happy with that. There we are. That's it.
It's beautiful.
It's rather gorgeous. Threads That Bind.
Is the collection of
Yeah.
fabric, which
Which
stunning.
confused Inga quite a lot. She's like, I can't find any threads. Where's the new threads collection? I'm like, no, it's the fabric. She was looking for like a nice like pack of threads. I'm like, no.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
Yes, but this is also rather gorgeous. I'm going to get out your way so that you can show everybody and be professional.
Well, I've got the description
Oh.
tonight. It's called Flippers Fun.
Oh, go on then.
All right, the description says,
Oh,
cozy up with a collection of our favourite designs from the past. Barb and I both love the look and feel of everything cross-stitched and quilted. The blend of both reminds us of when the work of our hands decorated our homes and was reflective of our creative spirit. These two passions, plus our deep friendship, is the thread that binds us together.
oh.
Really nice.
That should be our. We
Brings
should.
people
Yeah,
together. It does.
should be the Natasha
That was
Makes.
Alma Allen of Blackbird Design.
Oh, well done, Alma.
We had this
Good
collection
job.
in, which I adored. As you know, I'm quite a traditional patchworker and I love a ditzy print.
Yay!
A nice big floral that brings it all together. So I said to Natasha, can I do something with this, please? As I want to do when we get a little...
Can I just say I didn't get a look in?
No, I know.
Not a look in. I didn't even get
stood
to
between
open
you
the
and
box.
Didn't I? I was like, can I have this one?
Honestly, it was like, yeah.
Yeah. And Gemma had given me some books to look through, and we found this fat quarter friendly book from Annie's Quilts.
Oh, hang on, your mic's gone again, Jane.
Mike's gone again.
What's
It's-
going
I don't
on?
understand. I don't understand. It's up here.
No, that I can see a light on there. Oh, Gemma, can you throw me a couple of new batteries, please? And I'm just going to replace. They should be good. However, clearly, these ones feel like they have worked overtime. In fact, Gem, let's do the other two while I'm down here as well.
Thinking exactly the same, but getting that pack out is going to be so much fun. Oh, you mean the other one's there? I thought you meant the ones in Jane's
No,
room.
no, no, they're good to go.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun, not.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's better. I'll try and raise my voice as I speak as well, which might help.
I don't know that you need to now. If all is working.
It should be all right, shouldn't it?
Well, yeah, we'll give it a go.
Yes, so lovely ditzy print.
Good job we've got beautiful fabrics, isn't it,
Yes.
Jane? Because, you know, we're not managing on the old professional front this morning very well, are we?
I think it's the heat.
Yeah, blame.
Fat Quarter Friendly Quilts by Annie's Quilts. Beautiful book, all based on fat quarters. There's some gorgeous quilts in here. But I found this pattern. I'd already seen this pattern, and this was the one that I really loved. Look at that. And then I saw the quilts, the threads that bind us fabrics, and I was just like, oh, that will work really well. And I think, I don't want to be, you know, too big-headed about it, but I think it does.
I think, Jane, hang on, you can have your big-headed moment. It's blinking gorgeous.
I think it's translated itself really well into the lovely, they're reds, but they're not, they're more of a pinky colour. They're really lovely rose.
There's a real
greens.
softness to them, isn't there? It's an antique
and then
red.
These lovely creams as well. And then we've got the big floral print, which I've used in the border. We've got that in 4 colourways, which are absolutely stunning. We'll go through those in a minute. But we've made a fat quarter bundle. There's slightly more fat quarters than you actually need. But we did all the small dipsies and the creams in fat quarters. So there's actually 10, I think, or no, 12 in beautiful fabrics. We've got a lovely stripe. I love a stripe, you know me, I love a stripe. We've got it in a dark cream, a cream, the green and the red. They're all lovely. And then we've got a dot, and I love a dot even more, especially a scattered one like this that isn't regimented. We've got that in the red, cream and the green. And then there's a really lovely print in this. Can we go close up, Dad?
Yes, always.
Because I love this. It's like a fern with stars in. And I think particularly this version with the green and the red would work lovely in Christmas projects.
Oh, yes.
But the cream version of it is a beautiful background fabric. We've got it in the pink, which again is stunning and would look lovely in any project, but it's got sort of, I don't know what it is, but it gives me a Christmas vibe. I think it's the stars.
On the hottest day of the year.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then that lovely green. Look at that. The green in this is a lovely sort of sagey green, a lovely soft green. And then we've got this lovely rose as well. That is a beautiful print. And we've got that in the bundle. It's with the pink, the red. But we've also got it, if I can just get it off the set, because I've sort of wedged it in. We've got it in this lovely cream as well, which is very romantic. We can go close up on that.
I love that.
And that is just so pretty. I could see bedroom curtains in that. I don't know why, but it's sort of, I think it's the weather. It makes me think of roses and creams and this lovely red.
As
it's
it should.
Sort of breezy. You know,
It's stunning.
It's wafting in the breeze. So that's a really pretty sort of mid-scale, I would say, in my quilting terms, of a border. So I've got the red version in the fat quarter bundle. You can buy the cream version by the ½ metre. So that's the fat quarter bundle. There's 12 fat quarters there in this kit. Then we've got the border in the red. And this is just lovely. Look at the lovely yellows and creams in there.
But they're ochres, aren't they?
Yeah, they're just lovely
beautiful.
and soft. And then the rest of the kit is our solids. We've put our blush. There's 1 metre of that. And then 1.5 metres of our natural seeded. I love the natural seeded with this colourway. It's just, again, because it's got this almost calico tone to it with the bits of seeding in it. I think it's sort of like an unspun version. You know, it's the 100% cotton, but it's got that tone to it. It's just really lovely.
I always use that with my Tilda quilt. I've got a massive Tilda quilt
Yeah.
that I'm doing with every charm pack from every collection. I add in.
Yes.
I'm going to do one charm from Tilda and then one of the natural seeded, and
Yeah.
it's really lovely.
It is. It's a beautiful one. It's not. The cream is very yellowy, and the ivory can be quite stark, but the natural seeded sits in
Sits
between,
in there,
and
yeah.
it just works really well with this
Mm.
sort of primitive tones, I suppose, is what you'd call it. Really like the classic patchwork. So that's a lovely kit that we have, which makes the quilt behind me. You can get all of this fabric by the 1/2 metre. So I'm going to show you now the other border fabrics, because they are gorgeous. So we've got the red tone, which is the one I've used within the quilt. That's that one. And then the
But
green.
this one.
Oh, it's just lovely. It's classic, isn't it? It's a
Oh,
classic.
no, this is available. Is this? Hang on, I want to say this was available by the 1/2 metre, but I don't know that it is.
I think it is. I
Is
think
it?
Gemma. So if you wanted to swap, buy the kit, but you decided you wanted to have this as your border rather than the red, you need 1/2 metre piece. That's all
Yeah.
it takes for
Yeah.
the border. So, you know, it's not going to, Gemma's discounted the kit anyway. So adding that into your bundle, isn't it lovely?
It's just beautiful.
And then we've got it in, I don't know what they've called this colourway. Just trying to have a look. Tan, they've called it.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, Jane. They should have called it gorgeous.
But tan is a bit of a name for it, because it's like a greeny linen effect in the background, and it's a lovely, it's almost got a green tone to it. It's not beige at all. It's not what I would call tan.
No.
It's a
tan
very
for me
soft.
is an orangey.
Yeah,
Or is an orangey
sort of
cream.
the brown colourway.
Yeah.
This is a green. This is a very soft green background, which of course blends beautifully with the whole collection.
But it's like if you added a lot of white to sage.
Yes.
It's that sort of colour.
Yeah. A hint of a tint. Do you remember
Hint
those?
of a tint.
Do you remember those hints of a tints of Dulux? And they used to be like apple white and
Yes.
those sort of things. Yeah.
Oh, don't, Jane. I
That
just ordered
shows my
a
age.
lot of paint yesterday for my new home.
Lovely. And then we've got it in a classic cream, which again is a very soft, it's not a yellowy cream, it's almost a yellow, not yellow cream, nice, like a linen effect.
Jane, I realise that I
Really
actually
soft.
need a stately home for the number of fabrics I want to decorate
Yeah, I
each
think you
room in.
find that, don't you? Because you come across all these
I
beautiful
know.
fabrics and you're like, I want to
right.
make something with that. And each room needs to have a different style in it.
Yeah. Just a little quick note for those of you that shop in the bolt ends, by the way. Can I just point out that if your bolt end is over £50, why not add in your 1/2 metre of fabric?
Absolutely.
Now, you've got different ways to do this, because you can either, especially if you're shopping, if you're shopping for a few, you can either check them out individually. You will pay a bit of postage, but you'll get your fabric, which is worth up to £7.95.
Yeah,
You'll get that fabric piece for free.
yeah.
Or you can make your order bigger.
Yeah, and get free postage.
Yeah, because over £150 it's free postage.
Yeah, which is rather nice.
Because by that stage postage is normally pretty
Yeah,
expensive.
it is. Yeah,
And we swallow that for you as a thank you.
absolutely.
Just saying. So you just work out. So
Yeah.
whether or not, because if it goes over £150 and you could have chunked it into 3 lots of £50
Yes, you
to
get
get
three
you get
lots of
3.5 metres of fabric.
beautiful fabric. Yeah,
So work out
because it's
what's going
designer
to work.
fabric. It's not.
It's
it's
not
not We're
rubbish.
not just chucking our own planes in. We're giving you designer
Yeah.
fabrics.
Yeah.
So this book,
Yes.
I don't know how much is the book, Tash. Is it one of the £9.99 ones, or is it a bit more? I don't know.
No, hang on. Let me have a look on our.
Anyway, it won't be hugely expensive because Annie's quilt books aren't. But there's 12 projects in here,
It's beautiful.
from wall hanging size quilts like these ones and the one I've done behind me. There's table runners. Look at this, lovely. It's like similar to card trick, but with a square in the middle,
Gorgeous.
which is lovely. This one is a beautiful one. That's so fun. There's like a checkerboard in there with the sawtooth star, And that would be great if you've got a bundle of fat quarters that, you know, are all slightly different colours and you're not really quite sure what you're going to do with them. That's a lovely one. This also works in a scrappy way. There's a lovely table runner there with pansies on. You know, there's a bit of applique, there's piecing. This is, I think they're called, what have they called it? Oh, they've called this a table runner, but that's the sort of quilt that you could have at the end of your bed.
Gorgeous.
The price will be on the book, but I think it's $8.99.
It's only in dollars on mine, Gems.
Oh,
That's why
$8.99.
$8.99, which is just fabulous for 12 projects.
Yep.
And I have to be honest, I wanted to make everything in here. I love
And
this
possibly
one.
will.
I love that one. I think that's just really lovely. That's a beautiful one. Bright and nice bright ones. Really simple ones like this 48 carats. That is so straightforward. There's a square with a corner cut off it and a strip either side. This is a lovely book for beginners as well as people that are confident sewers, because there's all sorts. Look at that one. There's all sorts.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's lovely. There's all sorts of types and designs. And if you're a beginner, it would be really lovely to have this book and you could work your way through it and improve your skills as you go. It's a really stunning one. I love this. Springs in Studley, this one's called. Now they're trees, but the first when I saw it, I thought they were lollipops. So you could adapt that. It's got sawtooth stars mixed in it.
Nice.
The other thing I like about this book is in the sections about 3 different ways of making flying geese there, because she's used flying geese. This project uses flying geese.
A flock. She
Yeah.
created a flock for us.
Yeah. And there's lots of helpful hints and tips. I love Annie's Quilts books because they are really user friendly. And I think they're the sort of book that you would go back to time and time again, because there's lots of ideas in there. And they're not complicated. That looks a really complex quilt, but actually the block that makes it is not complicated at all. So you get a stunning looking quilt that I don't think would take you very long to make at all. That might be one we revisit, because that's another nice Christmassy style project.
Is that right?
So yeah, beautiful book, absolutely lovely. So I am going to show you just a couple of key points from the quilt I've made behind me. I think we'll do the flowers, because there's a bit of applique involved in that as well, and I'll show you how one of the blocks goes together.
Nice
And quickly. I'm going to use my offcuts because there's plenty within the bundle. That's everything I have left from the bundle.
Wow. Well, that's loads.
What I did do, which was a bit naughty of me really, this one is the one that you would use for the binding according to the book. But I like a stripe binding, as you know, because I'm always going on about it. And I used what was left of the fat quarter of the stripe in the pink. Now I did it single binding, I didn't do double binding, so I only cut it at 1.5 inches, so I had enough. There was a lot of pieces to join, but that was okay. So it's a single binding. So if you wanted to, you could bind it in one of the fat quarters, is what I'm trying to say. And you'd have a lovely big chunk for your stash of the beautiful blush fabric. So the flower block is made from a sawtooth star. So I'm going to show you that. It's very simple. It's squares and rectangles, this sawtooth. So there's several. This is why she's got the several ways of making flying geese, because in this block it uses all the ways really. My no waste 4 way, and the rectangle with two squares. So you're going to need a biggish square for the centre, and then you're going to make flying geese to make your sawtooth star. So you've got your small squares and your rectangles. You need to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner on your square, and then you're going to place that over your rectangle with the line facing in towards the middle of the rectangle, and then we're going to sew on that line. And you can do this chain piecing, so you can place all of your squares on and just sew all the way down. So we'll just do that. Excuse me, sorry. So this is one of these quilts where when you're piecing you have to remember that you've got your needle in the middle, and then you have to change it to 1/4 inch once you've done all your flying geese.
Now, we tried to find out what the noise was on the machine, and we cannot find it. We've had it to bits and all sorts, haven't we, Jane, this
Yeah,
morning?
we've changed needles and we've oiled it and we've changed the feet again, but
Had
it's still
the
making
top off it. We've had all sorts.
a little bit of a squeak on it for some reason.
And it's stitching an absolute dream.
Beautiful stitching.
Really beautiful stitches. We're a little bit befuddled and bemused. So we are continuing to try and work out what it is that's making...
We might need to have a video call with Gary and just go through it.
Actually don't know. We've done oiling, we've cleaned it, we've done everything.
Yeah. It's had a really good service this morning.
Yeah, it has. Still no idea. I know Karen was asking, she's like, did you ever work out what it was? I was like, no, I swapped it out for my TL 2020.
Yeah.
And got overexcited and completely forgot until this morning, 10 minutes before the show, where it's like, oh yeah, that thing happened.
Yeah. Because I needed a blanket stitch, you see, so I was like, I can't use the big one.
And that's why we all need two machines.
Absolutely.
That is the lesson today.
So we're just trimming that now away from, we're trimming the corner off 1/4 inch away from our sewn line. Then we're going to press that back up and just cut through the threads. We're going to press that triangle back. Just move these rulers out of the way. Got the iron on, yes we have. We'll try not to put it on too early because of the warmth. But
oh yeah, there does come a time there, doesn't it, where you actually need it.
Yeah, I'll just stick those over there. So we just press these triangles back now to reform the rectangle basically. So, oh, the iron isn't on.
Oh,
it's not plugged in.
Yeah, that too. I get really paranoid about the
No,
iron.
that's right.
So I always unplug it at the bottom as well.
Completely unplug it, which is a good thing to do.
And I think given the hike in energy bills, we'll all be unplugging everything and just sitting under quilts from now on.
No more leaving things on standby, that's for sure.
No. Do you know what? It might be the best thing that happens for the environment.
Absolutely.
I was thinking this the other day. I'm like, I know that everyone's getting upset about it, but actually, if we stop being greedy about what we, just turn everything off.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same about the petrol as well. It might make people think, oh, well, actually, I could walk there.
Yeah.
Or I could get the bus.
That'd be good for our waistlines too.
Yeah. But I won't be walking to work anytime soon, just to let you know.
No. What about Segway?
We might have to stay here otherwise.
Oh.
So we're just pressing those back just to make those back into the rectangle. So the corners are pressed back in. And then we place the square back in the opposite corner. And again, the diagonal line is facing in towards the middle. And we're going to chain piece those as well. I think the most complicated thing about this quilt is all the cutting, but it's brilliantly described. And when you get the book yourself, you can make notes in the margins as to which fabrics you're using where. And the best thing to do is to label everything. The pattern suggests that you do that.
Makes all the difference, doesn't it?
It does. Post-it notes on the stack of fabric that you've just cut. They're all labelled by letter anyway, so throughout the pattern she'll take fabric, take square O and place over the top of rectangle R. And
also it just means that, whatever fabric bundle you're using, because we do have lots of other fat quarter bundles.
Oh, we've got some lovely ones, haven't we?
Gemma's labelled them all on today's show so that you can see them. But
Did I see there was a Tula bundle, the sketchy one? Did I see that, or have I imagined that?
Yeah, there is a Lineworks.
Yeah,
there's a Lineworks fat quarter bundle. One left.
Yeah,
we've got one left of that.
I love that collection.
But we've also got the whole of the Lamazing.
Oh wow!
The llamas. I mean, imagine this in llamas.
Oh, that'd be fabulous.
And like one of the other, all the way around.
Yeah, and one of the other projects, one of the the bright, fun ones would be fabulous in the llamas. I'll just put those scraps out the way. I don't think we'd be able to do anything with those really tiny triangles. as much
as
we
much
probably
as we
like
try.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, this is it. So yesterday when we had those beautiful panels, Gemma said to me, well, what about stuffing it and using it as a draft excluder? Well, this is where if you keep all your little bits like that,
Oh
you
yeah,
can,
you
can
scraps,
stuff
yeah.
it.
Use for stuffing, absolutely.
And then it's got some weight to it.
Yeah. It's a great use of scraps actually, the little tiny bits, you know, you put your offcuts of your, when you've straightened your fabric or your bits of selvage and stuff like that, they work wonderfully.
Wendy says her daughter does not understand the two machine thing. She kept trying to pinch one, so I got her a second-hand one for her birthday. That's the way to go, Wendy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't.
We
There
all
are some
need
things we don't share.
No, we all need a second standby machine. Just, you know, when your machine's gone for servicing or you're, you know,
Yep.
you have a little problem, you've got a second one.
Jane,
Right.
could we just recap the name of the book, please, because Joe missed it.
Fat Quarter Friendly Quilts.
There you go.
And he's
If
quilting.
you just pull it just slightly into view, then we can just see.
There
There you go.
we
That's
are.
what it is.
It's lovely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
That one on the front would look lovely in that amazing fabric. Nice and bright.
Amazing.
Amazing. Right, so it's a sawtooth star. So we're going to sew the two small squares to the flying goose unit there, the two flying geese unit to either side of the square, and then the same at the bottom. And I'll do that quickly, and I'll do it in a continuous sew as you go fashion. So chain piecing this, again, this makes it quicker. So if you keep the block, this is where you have to remember to go to your 1/4 inch.
Oh, we've all done it though. We all forget
yeah,
at some
we always
point.
forget, don't we? There we are, that's it. I would have thought, there we go. So I'm sewing the top row square on the right hand side, and then I'm going to sew the flying geese onto the right hand side of the middle square. And then making sure that my flying geese is in the right orientation, sew that square onto there. And that's all done chain piecing.
Which is rather fabulous.
And so it looks like this. So you've got that effect going on. So then I'm going to then sew these pieces onto the opposite side. So basically you're turning it round that way, and you've got your pieces like that. So again, just lay it out on your mat if this is the first time you've ever done anything like this, and just make sure you've got your squares and your flying geese in the right orientation, and then you can do that. It's still connected by the thread you see there.
Mm.
But it means when you come to put your block together, you don't have to snip your threads.
Perfect.
So it's a time saver.
Perfect. We like a time saver.
So pop in the flying geese on. You've got a little X marks the spot on your flying geese unit, just here. If we're close enough. Just there.
Right.
So we just want to make sure that when we run our seam across there, that we're on this side of that little X.
Gorgeous.
Just so that we don't lose the point. Because it's quite easy to lose the point. Especially in the heat.
Point or the plot? Which one? That's what we need to know. Oh, Jane, I've got a little thing to do today.
Yes.
So when we move and the kids start school,
Yes.
it is then very shortly Captain Small's birthday.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah. So I need to create a birthday party for her.
She'll love that.
Do you know what, guys? Any suggestions on great things? I'm just going to ask our viewers because they're fabulous. I know it's got nothing to do with
Well,
sewing,
you don't
but
live too far from the beach, do you?
we don't, but also Mum and Dad have got a beautiful little orchard with a stream running through it.
Oh, they could have a lovely
So
time,
I
couldn't
thought
they?
I might put some solar powered lights in there and make like a little dingly dell.
Yeah, and they'll have great fun splashing in and out of the brook. And
But I
stuff.
don't know, like party games and stuff. Do you guys know any good party games?
Well, they could make paper boats, couldn't they, and then race them along the brook.
See, this is why I need to ask you lot, because you know. Sorry, as we were.
So we've got this 9 patch now, and it's still attached. So just I finger press the seam in on the middle and out towards the corners on these 2 rows. So now I can leave it joined together. I don't have to snip the threads. Just lay that up. I just can't think of the word. It's gone out of my head. Nestle the seams there.
Oh, nestle
those
Do
seams,
the whole lot,
and
yeah.
we can just sew that. And we haven't had to
Amazing.
snip the threads or anything. It just goes together beautifully.
That's what we like. So yeah, guys, all the ideas, please. That's what I need.
I remember the one year, Josh's birthday. Josh's birthday's in October, and it was a
Right.
rainy day, and we'd hired a bouncing castle, but it was outside, obviously, because you need a very big room if you're going to have it inside.
Yeah.
And the children loved bouncing in the bouncing castle because there was a puddle in the middle of it. They
Amazing.
just love splashing around in the water.
That's what they want.
My mum has an open, it was at my mum's house, and she has an open fire, a real fire.
Yeah.
And all the girls in their pretty party dresses and their lovely sparkly tights
Oh,
all lay
soggy.
with their feet on the hearth, drying their toes against the
Oh.
afterwards. They had the best time. They just loved it. They weren't bothered that they were in their best party dresses. They were splashing around in this bouncing castle because we were at first, we were like, oh, maybe it's not safe to let them do it. But they were like, no, we're doing it.
We're doing it. Don't care. We're doing it. That's the thing, isn't it? Oh, how lovely.
Because kids just love water and they don't feel the cold like we do.
I don't know why that is.
They
Or
just-
how that is.
Yeah, I think it's just the pure joy of it all. So there's your 9 patch, made quite quickly.
Oh, coming in.
Sawtooth
There we are.
star.
Beautiful.
I'll give that a press now and just make that nice and smooth and flat. And I'm pressing it with the seams in towards the middle, just because that's the way the fabric's telling me it wants to go, and I quite often do that. I'll listen to the way the fabric wants to sit,
Yeah.
because
That's
it will
fair
lie
enough.
flatter if it wants to go that way.
Yeah.
So you make 3 of those, 2 in the red and 1 in the green. And then you have a plain square, same size as your finished blocks. And you're basically then making that into a 4 patch. So we're going to sew the red and the green one together, lining up the
And
seams.
this is the middle bit.
Yeah, this is the middle flower.
So this is going to swing around and go
It
on
goes
point.
on point, yes.
Nice. Very nice.
Again, really effective. And you could make this block, you could just do this block and make a cushion with it.
Oh, wouldn't that be lovely?
You know, border it and then add a backing. And it would make such a pretty cushion, you know, like on a kitchen bench or in your garden shed, you know, garden house.
Nice.
So those 2 together, and then you're going to sew that sawtooth star onto the side of the blank square.
Gorgeous. Well, this is all working out a treat, isn't it?
It comes together beautifully.
I'm loving this.
And then you sew the 4 patch together. Now if you press your seams in opposite directions, so if I press that one towards the green star, and then we've got that one pressed towards the blank square, again you can nestle that and make sure you've got a nice join in the middle, and it lines up beautifully.
Gorgeous.
You will of course take your time and pin it and make sure everything's lined up really nicely.
You will, of course, do all of
Yes.
that we're not doing. Of course. In the meantime, this is what we're doing. Oh, Jane, this is going to be gorgeous.
So we'll give that a press.
Give it a press.
And that gives you your beautiful...
So we've got half of it that is going to be, is done normal sewing.
Yeah.
But we've got a stem and leaves and stuff.
Yeah, and this is done with a little bit of applique.
Right.
And there's templates, full-size templates that you don't have to worry about.
Nice.
We've got a stem there, the stem that goes across the middle, goes across that part, and then you've got 2 leaves, which are here. It also gives you the straight of grain, so it advises you on which parts to use. So I've used Bonder Web. Now I could have taken a bit more time, I've looked at this since, and made sure that the stripe on that fabric actually went through the middle, which I did take the time on that one, but it's a little bit crooked on here. It's not the end of the world. So I traced the stems onto my Bonder Web, taking into account the orientation of the grain, because this one, although it's down there on there, it needs to go through 90 degrees, and my leaves. Just cut around it quite close to the line, about 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, just so I got some extra around the bonded edge. And then I'm going to cut that now. You've got a paper side and a bonded side on Bonder Web. One's smooth and one's rough. It's
Yes.
the rough side, which is the adhesive, which you want to go on the wrong side of your fabric.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cut along the lines that I've drawn. You can use scissors, but these are nice straight lines, so there's no sort of like strange angles or little bits to cut out. So you can do this quite easily with your rotary cutter.
Perfect.
And that's my stem. I think it's time for a new blade on this rotary cutter.
Do you know what? I did that yesterday. I swapped out because I might have cut over a pin and
Yeah,
nicked
this is
my
a really
blade.
nicky blade, and that's it, isn't it?
Which is very exciting.
So that's the piece that goes across there, and then you've got your 2 leaves. And again, we can just use the rotary cutter to cut those out. And you may not want to use your best rotary cutter because you're cutting over paper, or you might
But at
want
least
to
then you've got
use
the
one-
choice, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got one that may be coming towards the end of its life.
Well,
You
that
can
was the
use
other
that.
thing. I had been cutting over paper with it as well.
Yeah, I mean, we all do it.
Yeah.
It makes cutting paper so much easier with a rotary cutter. My mum's been cutting up bits of posters and things, and she said to me, she said, have you got an old rotary cutter blade? Because I need to cut some paper. We're getting ready for a quilt show in Stone at the weekend.
Yeah, now tell us about this, Jane. I know that this is important, so we need to know. There is a quilt show where?
It's at Walton Community Centre in Stone, Staffordshire.
Mm-hmm.
We're celebrating 40 years of Staffordshire Patchwork and Quilters.
Lovely.
Saturday and Sunday, 10 till 4,
Mm-hmm.
at Walton Community Centre.
Right.
It'll
And
be good
who
fun.
will be there?
Lots of people will be there. Barbara Cheney and Chris Francis will be there doing demonstrations.
Mm-hmm.
I will be there,
Perfect.
helping with the refreshments. And
Barbara Cheney, what? The Barbara Cheney.
the Barbara Cheney, because
Right.
Barbara Cheney is the founder of Staffordshire Patchwork and Quilters.
Which helps.
She came up with the plan. She'd been teaching some people in her kitchen, and then it got too big, so she hired a hall, put a notice in the local paper saying anybody interested, and next thing 60 people came.
Lo and
This is like-
behold.
that
yeah,
was the
right.
start of it all.
Wow.
To hold classes and things. So we're going to now, just referring to the image on there, that's how your stems go on. So you'll bond the long one on down the middle. Can we go over the top with that?
Yeah, yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
There you go.
Over the top there. That one goes on. your leaves go on, and then you bond that one over the top as well. So it sits across in that area there. And once you've got those bonded on, you sew them down. I used a button stitch on mine, buttonhole stitch. It's quite easy to do. Just check on a scrap first to make sure where you need to have your needle position on your foot and the size of your buttonhole stitch. So I'm going to leave that for now because I'd like to show you how to do the other blocks as well.
Oh my goodness, yes.
We'll just do one because they're all four the same. But that, I think that is so pretty. And as I say, that would look lovely on a cushion, wouldn't it?
It really would. You know, sashed, dare I say it, flanged.
Yeah, absolutely. Bit of piping on there. It'll look lovely in your summer house.
Wouldn't it? Well,
Yeah.
Anywhere, really.
Anywhere, yeah.
Summer house, anywhere.
Beautiful.
Come on, Jane, what's next?
So this block here, which is there's four the same, or you think they're the same, but actually there's two, and they're two designs. They've used two fabrics the same on this one and two fabrics the same on that one. So it gives it a balance, and I just chose two of the fat quarters. I did do something slightly different to the pattern, and you can do it. You just have to read through the pattern first, because on the pattern they've used the same fabric as in the middle as in the triangles here. But I actually swapped mine around, so I had the fabric that was in the middle in the triangles on that one.
Okay.
And the fabric from the middle in the triangles on that one. They cut the same way.
It's
I just
really
swapped
discreet,
it around,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Really discreet. I like it.
So I think it also lends itself to a nice scrappy project. This, you know, if you've got odd fabrics that all tone together beautifully.
I mean, let's have a little think about our scrap bags.
I was going to say, haven't you got some scrap bags that you're bringing
Scrap
out?
bags.
Yeah.
They are loaded. They are on the website. I promised scrap bags, and then you came up with the idea of bolt ends and kind of
Yeah,
surpassed
hijacked it.
But because we promised scrap bags, well, not everyone also has got, you know, wants massive
I was going
big
to say,
chunks.
you know, that, you know, even with the discount, it does come at a premium, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Just got to make sure I get the right squares here on this one. So it's the D square, which on here is 4.5 inches. That's the right one. And then it's the S, which is here 2.5. Yeah, that's right. I have got the right ones. Just suddenly you think, oh, hang on, that doesn't look right. So again, we've marked the diagonal on the wrong side of the fabric, corner to corner. I'm going to place my stitch back onto the middle, my needle back into the middle. We're going to sew on that line, directly on that line, but we're going across the corner, so from middle to middle of the square. And I'm going to do both sides at the same time. So I'm going to sew across that one, and I'm going to sew across that one. Again, I'll just move my thread. And you may want to pin it in place if you're doing it at home. There we go. So just sewing on the line. Needle come up, and then I'll just give it a tug and just turn it around and go down the other side.
We are a viewer down this morning, Jane.
Was somebody missing? Somebody
well, yeah,
missing
we
with
said
stuff?
flange and Sylv didn't shout at us.
Oh,
I know. I know.
maybe it's too warm for her this morning.
I don't know.
She hasn't even got the energy to shout.
Just don't know.
So we're going to trim those corners off again. 1/4 inch away from that sewn line. Just trim those corners away. And we're going to press those triangles now back to reform that square.
Gorgeous.
And then we're going to do the same in the opposite corners. So we just place the square with the diagonal line running across the corner from the middle to the middle of the square on both sides, and we're going to again sew on that marked line and trim it away.
Oh, these are just so pretty, Jane.
They are. They've got a real sort of like romantic feel to them, I
Yes,
think.
hasn't it?
classic patchwork, and I love classic patchwork.
Did it take a very long time to make or not?
No.
Okay, good.
You know, I have a window to make my quilts in, don't I? So, you know, it's a weekend project. You know, you can get it done in a couple of days. But at the same time, it's the sort of thing that you might just want to do a little bit of and then come back to and do a bit more of.
You might, yeah, just do like a block a day.
Yeah. I think the tip is to get all your pieces cut, get them labelled, and then you've got them.
Yeah.
I think the labelling of the pieces is the key element with this, because there's a lot of triangles that when you first look at them, if you haven't labelled them, they look very similar.
Oh.
So you just want to take care with that. And as I say, labelling is the key. And it says that in the pattern. You know, it recommends that you label them.
That's fair.
Okay, so we've got a square within a square there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got these triangles. So it's the red, pink colour in the middle, and then we go with the triangles around the outside to, in effect, make another square within a square. Now, you may look at these triangles and you may think, actually, they're too big, but it's your seam allowance. And what I recommend that you do is that you fold your triangle right sides together and just give it a little press with your thumb and finger just to form a crease in it. And then you can line that crease up there with the point on that square, and then you know that's in the centre of your square and you've got that overhang there.
Gorgeous. Oh, and it really is. It's so gorgeous.
It's a lovely little quilt that would sit nicely on the wall. Oh, guess who didn't change a seam?
Oh no! Seam ripper!
Where's the seam ripper? Here it is. I love this machine, the way it's got everything tidied away inside.
I always forget that there's a seam ripper in there.
It's always handy. And just quickly just pull those through. This is why I use a 2.6 on my stitching, because it's easy to unsew. It's just the right size for
to unsew.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
we're just reversing time.
Reverse sewing.
Don't mind us.
Just take those. You get just big enough to get the point of the seam ripper inside, and just pull the thread through. I keep my sewing flat, particularly here, because we've got a biased edge here, so I would never do that and pull the stitch from the inside, because that would stretch my fabric. So when I unpick, I tend to leave mine flat on the table and pretty much do what I'm doing now to keep it as flat as possible and as stable as possible. I've treated all my fabric beforehand with Best Press, just to give it that bit of stability.
Makes
particularly
such
because
a difference.
It does, and especially because we're cutting triangles. It's not all squares and squares, which don't tend to stretch, and you have to be careful of. There's a lot of cut the triangles first and use them as triangles, so you've got a biased edge that you're sewing against.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to stretch it if you're not careful. So the Best Press helps prevent the stretching. And again with this, I'm going to do opposite sides, it's a quick way of sewing it. Do them two sides together at the same time.
I just keep coming back to that finished item, and also the really discreet sort of chain that goes around in the triangular bits in between.
Yes,
it's really pretty. It's pretty.
Lovely.
Yeah,
and that again is done with squares and triangles, and you put that on top of a triangle. It's
very,
a lovely
very
quilt to make, and I really do think that anybody, you know, who hasn't done much quilting, even a beginner, would be able to understand this. And there's lots of step-by-step how you do articles within the book. You know, it's not just patterns and expecting you to know how to do stuff. There's a lot of help within it for certain techniques and things.
yeah, no, for sure.
And there's a nice little bit at the back about how to do your binding and what sort of quilting you can do and how to prepare your quilt for quilting. So it's a really lovely project book to have.
You're giving our lovely Lizzie conniptions, putting your glasses on with seam rippers in your hand.
Oh yeah, poke myself in the eye.
She said I nearly had my eye out doing that. I hadn't even thought of that. I mean, that's another way I could damage myself.
Yes, there's all sorts of ways, isn't there?
Yeah.
So this is the square within the square within a square, which is the centre of the block. And then we're going to make flying geese using the no waste method. 1 large square and 4 small squares. So we're going to make 4 in one go. So you have your large square and your 4 small squares.
Nice.
And you're going to place 2 of the squares in opposite corners in the points with the diagonal line. I've marked the diagonal line again from corner to corner, lining up across there. You will need to pin this because you can guarantee when you take it to the machine it shifts.
Moves. It jumps. How do they do?
Always, every time.
How, Jane?
There's a little imp, isn't there, that sits by your machine just messing with your piecing.
Rude of it. That's what I say. Just rude.
So we're going to sew 1/4 inch either side of the line this time. So we're not sewing on the line. I'm just going to have a drink because my throat's gone a bit. So that's my straw making that squealing noise.
Yeah.
Not only have we got a squeaky machine, my straw makes a squeaking noise
We
too.
like all the sounds here. It's a very musical place, really.
And don't think that you've cut it wrong when the squares overlap in the middle. You need them to overlap, that's your seam allowance.
Right, got it.
So don't panic and think, oh my gosh, I'm using the wrong size square or I've cut it wrong. It's meant to be. So we take that out and we just lie that across and go down the other side.
Oh, this is fabulous.
And again, this comes together quite quickly.
Was exactly what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
You know, realistically, you've done two of the blocks this morning, and it's looking good.
And it's beautiful, the simplicity of it. It gives you quite a complex design, but actually it's made up of simple units. So we're cutting that now across the middle. Yeah, definitely time for a new blade.
So we're just chewing it.
It just looks a bit weird now, and we're going to press these triangles up and away from that larger triangle.
Okay.
And it looks even stranger there. And you, at this point, you're like, how is this going to make flying geese? Makes no sense.
But then you always do this to me
Yeah.
with flying geese, and I'm like, I don't understand what's happening here.
I love this shape. It looks like a little heart. So we press those triangles up and away from the larger triangle that we've created. And now we're going to place our second square in the point of the larger triangle.
Oh, nice.
With the diagonal line sitting in between the points of the smaller triangles. And again, you might look at this and you might think, hang on, it doesn't work. It overlaps, it's meant to, that's your seam allowance.
Okay, perfect.
So please
don't worry.
Don't worry. It's all been worked out for you, measurement wise, geometry wise. So you just have to follow the instructions and have faith.
What? What? Come on. Follow the instructions.
Yeah, who does
think
that?
We've all recognised that's not my strong suit.
We've all done it. We've all think, oh yeah, no, that's done. Ploughed away and thought, hang on, this isn't what it's supposed to look
Yeah,
like.
they've done something clever here,
Yeah.
which is more cleverer than I am.
So we go either side of those of that marked line.
Lovely.
And again, you could put the pieces together and chain piece those. You could go up one side of all of them and then come down the other side of the rest.
Karen says it's witchcraft. Wait for the viola moment. Yeah, it's coming, Karen.
It's coming,
nearly
Karen.
there. It's
Yeah.
nearly there.
That's going to be a thing now, isn't it? Viola.
Viola.
Brilliant.
And Elizabeth says it's nearly a fox. It is that cunning. As cunning as a fox with a degree, I feel.
Amazing. Amazing. So I'll just snip through that line of stitch there, remove my pins. And then we take the ruler and we cut again on that marked line, cutting through all the layers.
It is witchcraft.
And then we press these triangles back. And
And
viola.
that is why. And viola! There it
And
is.
there it is. Flying geese. And you've made 4 in one go. You've got no scraps. It's a great way of making lots of flying geese all in. This, you have to make it in the same fabric.
Elizabeth, ta-da works as well.
Yeah,
Ta-da or
ta-da.
and viola also work. Either or.
Either or.
Yeah.
So these are the flying geese that go. They go that way. Yes, that's right. They do go that way. And we're going to make the corner squares now. And these are made with squares and triangles, funnily enough. So we've got a small square that's the corner, and we're going to add, basically we're going to add a triangle to that side and a triangle to that side to form what is in effect a half square triangle, and then we add a triangle to it. So it makes that shape. So again, lay them out, have a look at them, see how they're constructed. And if you've got all your pieces laid out, you can, that's no good, is it, that piece? Let's find a piece of that again and cut a proper square.
Sue says Paul Daniels would be proud of you.
Let's just cut a quick, I'm just going to do a cheat on this because it's got to be a 2-inch square.
Oh, Jane, did you cut the blush fresh today?
Yes.
Did you see I might have had a little mouse nibble out the corner?
Yes, I did trim it down. I was like,
I needed to make a zip tag for my duffel bag
well,
for
that's
next
what
week.
you do, don't you? Just a little tap.
So I might have taken a little sneak out. I was then going to use the rest of it. I was just taking it off the bolt as I needed it, and I didn't realise that you needed it.
It's
And
okay.
so
I
suddenly...
had a mild panic because I looked on the shelf and I was like, oh no, we've got no blush, oh my gosh.
Where is it?
And then I remembered what
I
we'd
had
said. We'd had a little
snaffled it.
audition, hadn't we, with the fabrics yesterday, and you'd said this, we said this one looks best as the lining.
Do you know what I'm having? So next week I'm making a duffel bag.
Oh, it's just amazing. It's a beautiful bag.
It's not my design. Like, before anyone gets excited, it's not my design, and the pattern will be coming to you for free when we bundle everything. But I got Gemma found it actually, and it's really, really beautiful. And she was getting quite cross with me because of the bolt ends, because I kept finding them. And then she got her own back, because in it you have to make candles that are 90 inches. But not only that, they need 5 layers of stitching through them.
I bet you were really glad to have your quilt machine.
Do you know what? I have never been so glad from a TL 2020.
Yeah.
Because it just flew through it.
Well, this is the beauty of it, isn't it? It stitches fast, but it stitches straight, and it's just
Straight and true. And also,
absolutely.
just knowing that both sides would stitch the same.
Yeah.
It didn't matter which way up I had it, both sides were going to stitch the same.
Yeah.
It was really reassuring. And I know that we've just had another order for one of those go through yesterday, so well done if you managed to get one. They've made 2000s of the platinum one that I've been
right,
using.
so they're limited edition.
It's a limited edition.
Amazing.
Mine is number 73. They are in stock in this country for now. The white one, the original one that I've got, the TL20, the TL2, I don't know, 2200, is currently out of stock in this country.
Oh wow.
So, and somebody asked me on Facebook how many stitches per minute it does. 1500.
Oh my gosh.
So that is how I was able to plough through.
I was going to say, you did that strap in like minutes, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because 90 inches.
That's a lot. It's
Quite a
more than
lot.
2 widths of fabric.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's 2¼ meters,
yeah,
5
So-
times over.
we've sewn all of the.
So 11¼ meters of stitching.
We've sewn one triangle
Oh, hang on.
onto
wrong
what
one.
is effectively the top of the
There you
square.
go. Yeah.
Press that away from the square, and then we're going to sew the other triangle onto this side. Again, you've got that extra bit which is your seam allowance. It overhangs there. So don't think again that you've got the wrong square that you've cut in half. It's meant to be, you need your seam allowance.
This was just chuckling, Tash explaining pinching fabric. Yeah, I still feel bad when I nick my own fabric and then somebody else has to look for it. It's not good, is it? I would ask everybody else to put it back on the shelf, to be fair. And it's...
The thing is, we know that if it's not on the shelf, it could be in the studio. We only panic when it's not in the studio and it's not on the shelf, and then we're like, oh, where's it gone?
Yeah, and then we generally look in my direction. Oh, up, Claire's just made 1½ meters of bias binding, but she's somehow managed to do every single seam the opposite to the one before.
Oh no. That is heartbreaking when you do that. At least you've only got to unpick every other seam, I suppose.
I mean, yeah.
Try and look on the bright side, if there is one.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
So we're going to press these away now from the square again. And this forms, in effect, a half square triangle.
Guys, I know you are watching Jane intently, but are you checking back in to see if there are any other fabrics being loaded that you love the look of?
I'm getting a bit of FOMO from this because I'm like yesterday I was right in the middle of it, measuring it out and writing what it was, and now I'm like, what fabrics is it going to use, and I might miss out.
I might have thrown in a few William Morris.
So we're going to sew. I'm just going to cry.
How to throw Jane off her stride. Sorry.
Yeah. I love the William Morris. We're going to put the two triangles together, right sides together now, and we're going to sew along this seam. Now you've got two biased edges here, so just take it gently. And again, you've got this X marks the spot, so make sure that your seam, and it should do, will fall on the inside of that square, and you won't lose the point of your square then. So I always sew on the side. My teacher Chris Francis used to say, sew on the side with the most information, and that's the side which has got all the seams and markings on. That way you can see straight away if you've gone over the seam, or stitched over what would be the point of your square. You can of course go and trim the ears off this before you start. Just be careful that you make sure that there's 1/4 inch on the side of your triangle. So, if you wanted to trim those ears off there, you just want to make sure that you place your 1/4 inch mark. And the creative grids are great because look, you've got that 45-degree line there and there. So you can see straight away that sits on your square, and I can see that there's 1/4 inch there now. So I can just trim those ears off like that.
I was using those 45-degree lines yesterday to mark my bias, because I was joining my 4 lengths of width of fabric strips.
Yeah.
Diagonally. So I was using my little ruler.
Yeah.
To do that,
Just
and I just thought it's
all
really nice
those
just to
pointers
have
on
that
there.
kit.
Yeah.
Just so nice to have the kit, and it just comes together a treat.
That 12.5 by 6.5 inch ruler is just so lovely to have. It's easy to use. All the markings are on there, like the big one. I think that one is possibly the one I use the most. I like my 24 inch because when I'm cutting the width of fabric, but I think when I'm doing my piecing, I use that 12.5 by 6.5 the most.
I use that one and my Big Easy.
Yeah.
Love my Big Easy. We've got to stock up on Creative Grids. We are out of stock on so many. We need to have a good old ramage.
So you can see I've quite quickly made all 4 squares there. I'm going to press those now, and I'm pressing them with the larger triangle on the top so that the seam falls underneath that larger triangle. Less bulk, sits nicer.
Perfect.
Those triangles then sit in the corners there with the large triangle facing inwards.
Oh, it's so pretty, Jane. So you can get the whole bundle as a fat quarter, or
so you can get
the
all
whole
the
collection.
Fabrics. Yeah, all the fabrics we have, because I mean we haven't got all the fabrics in the collection. We just cherry pick the pretty ones. I shouldn't say that because they're all gorgeous, but
yeah, the ones that
Natasha liked the best, and then I stole when I saw them. So we're going to do the same thing because it's a 9 patch. So we're going to sew those ones together, those to there, and those to there. I'm just going to turn that round because I like the rows facing upwards. And we can do that again in the same way as we did before by chain piecing it. Just making sure that it's in the right orientation. Do tend to leave things on my mat and just place them down and then place them back again. Just so that I know that I've got everything in the right place. You've got seams that you can line up here, and if you want to pin along the seam just to make sure that it's a stay in place, you can do that. So we've got that going on there, that one there, and that one there, and along there. And so then we're going to sew these onto this side. So just flip that round and go again.
Gorgeous. Oh, I'm so excited. Lots of you buying the book today. I don't blame you.
It's a brilliant book.
How many different quilts did we say? I want to say 12.
12 projects.
12 projects for £8.99. I mean, come on.
That's, you know, you would pay that for one pattern, wouldn't you?
Easily.
In some cases. So, yeah, I think it's a real bargain.
And rightly so. I mean, Jane, thee and me know how much time and effort and everything else goes into producing just one pattern.
I was going to say, and it's not just writing the pattern, it's the creating of the design in the first place. You know,
having that moment where you
where you want to know what everything is and where it comes together and how it works, and then working out the sizing of each piece to make sure that it does work. It's not a simple thing to do, write a pattern. So we've got that block there now, and we're going to just line those up and sew that together.
Amazing.
And again, we can nestle seams. Just making
yes,
sure.
Elizabeth, we do. Elizabeth says, do we ever get 60mm blades for rotary cutters? Yes.
Yes, we
yes,
do.
we do. And Jenny would like to know, what is the measurement of the block point to point?
Point to point. Across it is. That's 33 there. And it goes across to 16.5. So that's...
If you look at the top line, Jane, then it does it the other way around.
It'll tell me, won't it, straight away. Let's just line that up with number 10. Because that's easier to look at. That's a 17.5 from that point to that point. It's a 12-inch square, but across from point to point it's 17.5.
Vicky says, I'm really loving this block. You can do this, Vicky.
Vicky,
can
you would
do this.
Well, no problem.
That one looks a bit wonky because it hasn't been stitched down, but that one, yes. But mean, if you're just going to use the block and then turn it into a cushion or something, then you make it whatever size you want with sashing,
Yeah.
don't you? That's the key there.
Yeah. And also, you know, once you've made one,
You're
you
going to
can
want to make
scale it up and make more or less or bigger. It's a sort of block pattern that can be scaled up.
Now, just a little information for you. We will not be doing new half-metre heavens this week for the simple reason that poor Gemma is so snowed under with the bolt end sale.
Yes.
So it's kind of gone in place of your half-metre heavens is your bolt end sale. Do have a rummage through our half-metre heavens and maybe start from like the last page of them.
Yes.
And work your way back.
Because there are still some beautiful ones.
There might be some that you've missed. Maybe you were away one week or you didn't watch. What? I don't know. Apparently that can happen, Jane.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes people have lives, I'm told,
Really?
that don't involve us. Again.
Rude.
I know. Call yourself part of our tribe. It's fine. We'll let you.
We'll forgive you.
Morning, Fiona. So yeah, that's all good.
Now you've got
so
quite a bit
pretty.
of bulk in the points here, but if you give it a good press, it'll sit nicely. And there is the other block, and you make 4 of those, and with sashing in between, they sit in the corners there.
Beautiful.
Now I didn't actually use any of the stripy fat quarters in mine. After I'd got halfway through, I thought, this sashing might have looked nice in the stripe.
Yes, it might
sitting
have done.
through there.
Yes.
And once you know the measurements and where everything are going, you'd be able to do that from your fat quarter piece, because a stripy sashing is rather lovely. So it gives you options, and I don't know if any of the eagle-eyed ones of you may have noticed in the quilt behind me.
Oh, hang on, let's have a look in the quilt behind you.
I actually cut the background fabric from the cream spotty. I read through the pattern first, worked out which ones were needed for the background of this block, and cut those pieces from one of the fat quarters.
Nice.
So as I said before, there is plenty of fabric. You can see I've made 2 blocks. I've still got loads left over. I probably could have made
from the original bundle that you had, so you can make extra cushions and stuff.
Yeah, you could make one for you and one for a friend.
Well, this is just it. So Vicky says that the block that you're currently sewing, the one you've just done there, may be what she uses to make a quilt or chair throws for the garden. Yeah. In all her peach shades. This
block on its own, joined together, would make lovely. And if you put 2 of these blocks together without sashing, you'd end up with a square here and a little 4 patch there. So you could have good fun. You could swap the corners. And then when you put those together without sashing, you get a little 4 patch going on. There's lots of versatility to these blocks.
Well, there are, aren't there? You know, that's the thing. Oh, morning, Fiona. She says, morning, ages since I've managed to see you live. Here we are. And Karen says, Karen Hughes says she loves a half-metre heaven. We had noticed.
Yes.
She said, perfect if you fancy making a fancy sun hat while we're having a heat wave. Karen, I saw your sun hat. It's not just any old sun hat.
It's beautiful.
It's like it's Carlsberg made sun hats. They'd make your one. It was particularly gorgeous, and I love your new shoes, by the way.
Yes, always nice shoes.
Lot of love for that, and also for the Oh Nuts dress that she made yesterday. Yeah, just gorgeous.
And she shipped her 2 cave dresses off, hasn't she, for the exhibition?
Yes. My goodness. Yeah, just goes to show that, doesn't it? K Facet Fabric, a collective, any of them works beautifully for dressmaking. So do keep an eye on our bolt ends. Yeah. Because there's going to be all sorts cropping up. There's going to be Moda, William Morris. There's going to be a bit of KFC in there. There's going to be all sorts.
It's lovely.
Bit of Lewis and Irene.
Well, it just makes a bit of room in the warehouse for the
new stuff. Well, this is just it. We've got stuff sitting in boxes.
Yeah.
So Karen says, shoes and hat. What more do you need? I'll ask the police. They say a slightly more than that.
Yeah, a little bit more than that.
I mean, you can leave your hat on. That's
absolutely.
all I can say.
Why not?
Absolutely. Right, everybody. Jane, you are an absolute superstar.
Thank you.
Absolute superstar. On Monday, I am going to make you a duffel bag.
Make me a duffel bag. Lovely.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I bet I don't get it.
Do you know what it is? I'm working with a new fitness coach, right?
Yeah.
And I've quickly realised that I don't have dumbbells and all that kind of rubbish.
Yeah,
so I'm going to actually have to go to a gym. I have not stepped foot in a gym for over 8 years.
Scary places.
Yes. So I am going to have to do that, which is scary. And so I need a duffel bag for my gym going purposes.
Yes.
So as ever, Natasha makes a very selfish show for me. It's like, what do I need? Therefore, I will make
why
one.
not?
And we'll see if anybody else happens to want one too.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's what we're going to do. Morning, Anne. Yeah, Karen says, fabulous again, Jane. You are a star. She certainly is. Julia says, Lucy Lavender has gone. Julia, let me see if I've got any more snuck away. Sometimes we have two.
Yeah, like we said, sometimes if there's an order comes in for more than is left on the bolt, we open another bolt, we have to. So sometimes there's 2 slivers left.
So let me investigate that situation and do you know, I'm just going to take a screenshot of that and I'll go and have a look about that instantly, if not sooner. And Julia, I will let you know. Morning, Val. Jane, thank you very much. I don't know what I'm going to make on Tuesday, but Monday's definitely a buffel bag.
A buffel bag?
A duffel bag. A duffel
That's a
bag.
new one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's taken me back to the very first make I made at school.
Really?
With a zip. Was a duffel bag. Was a round-ended duffel bag in Paisley.
Amazing.
Yep. It's like I've come full circle.
Full circle.
30 something years later, and I'm doing it all again.
Wonderful.
Yay!
Wonderful.
Jo says she loved watching Jane. She makes it look so easy.
It is
She
easy. I don't
does.
do complicated. I do straightforward.
Fabulous. And where do we find you at the weekend, Jane?
I'm going to be at the Quilt Show at Stone. Walton Community Centre.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Pop along.
I'd love to see anybody that can make it. There's going to be some lovely quilts. We're looking at quilts through the ages, so 40 years the group's been going.
Amazing.
There's been all sorts of things made during that time, so it'll be really interesting to see the different styles and types of quilts that'll be on show.
Couple more questions. Vicky says, will the bolt ends appear in the clearance section? Is that where we should watch? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Clearance section.
Go into the clearance part of the website.
Eyes on clearance. Eyes on clearance. Bum bag Tuesday, says Fiona. I mean, it's an idea.
It's a thing.
It's an idea. I see that gentlemen these days are wearing them across the chest.
All right.
Jimala,
Fabrics are going into clearance
they are going into clearance.
and also in today's collection, and I'll move them up. the
Oh,
page,
so
but-
she's going to put them in today's collection and in clearance.
but the
So
quickest
place to
spot
spot them is in clearance.
And fastest finger first.
Yeah, it is fastest finger first. They are flying. No, Elizabeth, we're not doing Fanny Pack Friday. You are so wrong. Honestly,
She's
I'm
so
going to taken off it.
She's a
That's what
mischievous.
Americans call it.
Yeah, they do.
They do. They
Yeah.
do. And also Jenny said, when is John back for the next block of the summer quilt? So Jenny, he's had COVID. He is now better, but we gave him another couple of weeks to make sure that he was super better.
Yeah, because
we
he's
don't
quite
want him
washed out, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It really knocked him about. So, yeah.
we need to look after our John. So he's
Absolutely.
not going to be on this Monday. He's coming next Monday.
That's something to look forward to.
So that's when he'll be here. Helen's just joined us. Hello, Helen. You haven't posted a Steve yet. Oh, hello, Gemma's back.
John,
John,
July 25th.
July
Monday,
25th.
All being well.
Yeah.
And again,
And
2
again,
weeks afterwards
2
on
weeks
August
later.
8th.
Oh,
August 8th. There we go.
That's lovely.
There we go. We will get a double dose of John.
Super.
Jane, thank you.
You're welcome.
Should we go and have a cup of tea?
Yes, go somewhere where there's a bit of a breeze.
Oh, the other thing
Melting.
is, I need to ask about Stone.
Yes.
Is there cake?
Yes.
Did you make any of the cake?
There will be cake made by me and lots of other clever bakers.
Amazing. That's all
Wonderful.
I need to know.
Lots of refreshments.
Lovely. Thank you. Right, everybody, take care, stay safe, and be good. And if you can't be good, don't get caught.
Stay
Bye-bye.
cool.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.